If you want your life to change, stop explaining yourself and start focusing on what really matters. You. Imagine what would happen if you poured all your energy into building your habits quietly, without telling anyone. Would you finally see the progress you've been chasing? Most people waste time trying to convince others they're working hard, but that only slows them down. What if the key to getting everything you want is to work in silence, away from distractions, and let your actions do the talking? This video will show you why focusing on yourself and staying silent isn't just a choice, it's a powerful strategy that makes everything flow in your favor. Stay with me because what you learn here could change the way you approach your goals forever. Let's dive into how silence and self-focus create unstoppable momentum in your life. Number 1. Lock in your focus and stop chasing their approval. When you spend your energy chasing after what other people think of you, you're trapped in a cycle that keeps you stuck and unhappy. You feel tired, frustrated, and small because no matter what you do, it's never enough for them. That's a painful place to be. The truth is, real freedom and success don't come from seeking approval. They come when you lock in your focus on yourself and stop giving your power away to others. Your mind is a powerful tool, but when it's busy trying to please everyone else, it loses the ability to work for you. Think about it. When you constantly worry about what people say or think, your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. Your energy leaks through every second you spend doubting yourself or adjusting to fit someone else's expectations. That energy could be used to build your skills, your confidence, and your life. Look around you. How many people do you know who waste their days trying to get someone's approval? They change who they are, their opinions, even their dreams just to fit in or be liked. The problem is, this is a trap. You can't live your life through others' eyes and feel truly alive. You end up with regrets, confusion, and the quiet, nagging feeling that you're not enough as you are. Now imagine this. What if you decided today to stop chasing that approval? What if you focused all that time and energy on becoming the person you want to be, the person you respect deep inside? When you lock in your focus on yourself, you stop moving sideways to follow the crowd. You stop reacting to every comment, every criticism, every small judgment. You start living from your own center. This isn't about being selfish or ignoring others. It's about valuing yourself enough to stand firm in your path. When you do this, your confidence grows. Your decisions become clearer. The noise around you fades because you no longer tune into it. You create space in your mind and heart for the things that truly matter to you. Focus means you make a choice. You decide what's important, and you give that your full attention. The world will try to distract you. People will question your choices or tell you to conform. But when your focus is locked on yourself and your purpose, these distractions don't shake you. You become steady like a tree rooted deeply in the ground. It takes courage to do this because you have to face yourself honestly. You must look at where you've been giving your power away and admit it. You might feel fear, shame, or loneliness. That's normal. These feelings are part of the process. They show you where your true work begins, building your own strength from the inside out. When you stop chasing approval, your self-respect grows. You learn to listen to your own voice above all others. This voice will tell you what you need, what you want, and what you can do. You become your own guide instead of waiting for others to tell you who you are or what you should be. This shift changes everything. You stop reacting to criticism because it no longer defines you. You stop being distracted by comparisons because you understand your own value. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit someone else's comfort zone. Instead, you expand your vision and step into your full potential. Every great success story starts with this shift. The moment someone stops looking for permission outside themselves and begins to act from their own conviction, this is when real progress happens. When confidence builds, and when life begins to flow in your favor. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need approval from your family, your friends, or your coworkers to succeed. What you need is to trust yourself enough to keep moving forward regardless of their opinions. This is not easy, but it is the only way to unlock your true potential. Focus means discipline. It means saying no to distractions and yes to your goals. It means turning away from toxic conversations or environments that drain your energy. It means protecting your peace and refusing to let others steal your joy. Silence is a powerful partner in this journey. When you stay silent, You create space to think clearly. You avoid getting caught in pointless debates or arguments that pull you off course. Silence helps you observe without reacting, to learn without defending, and to grow without pressure. Silence also gives your work the chance to speak for itself. When you're busy explaining or defending every move, you waste time and energy. But when you focus quietly on your actions, your results become louder than words. People notice your progress without you having to announce it. This quiet focus is the foundation for lasting success. It allows you to build your skills, grow your mindset, and develop the habits that create momentum. When your attention is on yourself and your growth, opportunities begin to appear naturally. Doors open not because you begged or pleaded, but because you earned it through dedication and integrity. It's important to remember that this journey is personal. No one else can do the inner work for you. No one else can decide what you value or how you choose to live. That responsibility lies squarely with you. Taking back your focus and choosing silence over noise is a form of self-respect. It is a declaration that your life is yours to lead, not theirs to control. This mindset empowers you to overcome challenges, face setbacks, and keep going when others give up. There will be moments when you feel doubt or loneliness. These moments test your resolve. But every time you choose focus and silence, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears and distractions. To lock in your focus means creating clear goals and routines that support your growth. It means setting boundaries with people who drain your energy. It means investing your time in activities that build your skills and improve your life. It also means practicing patience. Growth takes time. Results don't come overnight. When you focus quietly and consistently, you trust the process even when it feels slow or difficult. When you stop chasing approval, you begin to live for yourself. You wake up excited about your goals. You feel a new sense of freedom. Your energy shifts from worry and comparison to confidence and action. The power to change your life is in your hands. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need a crowd cheering you on. You just need to commit to yourself fully and stay silent about the noise around you. The people who succeed are not always the loudest or the most talked about. They are the ones who focus deeply, work quietly, and keep their eyes on the prize. They know their worth and don't waste energy trying to prove it to others. This path is not easy, but it is real. It is a path grounded in discipline, respect, and self-trust. It's a path that anyone can walk if they choose to. You have everything you need to start today. All it takes is one decision to stop seeking approval and start focusing on your own growth. To shut out distractions and listen to your own voice. To work hard in silence and let your results do the talking. When you lock in your focus and stop chasing approval, everything begins to flow in your favor. Doors open, opportunities come, and your life moves forward in ways you never imagined. This is your moment to choose yourself over the noise, to put your energy where it matters, to take control of your journey and move toward the life you deserve. The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Watch how everything changes. Number 2. Speak less and use your energy to grow daily. Most people talk so much about what they're going to do that they never actually do it. That's the trap. That's what keeps people stuck year after year, running their mouths while their potential sits untouched inside of them. You can either talk about growth or you can grow, but you can't do both at the same time. Every second you spend explaining yourself, defending your choices, or bragging about what's coming, you're wasting energy that could be used to become something real. The truth is simple. Speak less and use your energy to grow daily. You don't need to tell the world what you're building. You don't need to explain yourself to people who don't even understand where you're going. You don't need to seek applause before you've done anything worth clapping for. Growth doesn't come from noise. Growth comes from consistency, from focus, from quiet dedication that doesn't need to be announced. If you really want to change your life, if you really want to reach that next level, then you have to shift your energy from talking to doing. I've watched too many people waste their strength trying to be seen instead of trying to be great. You'll never find peace if you spend your life proving yourself to others. You'll never reach your best if you keep explaining your every move. Some people need you to stay distracted so they feel better about staying stuck. If you stop talking so much, They can't feed off your energy anymore. And when that happens, when you go quiet and work, everything in your life begins to change. Start looking at how you spend your energy every day. Think about how many words you say that don't lead to any real action. Think about how often you repeat the same promises to yourself without following through. That's where your power is leaking. That's why you feel tired without progress. You're burning your fuel in the wrong places. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's built in silence. It's shaped through discomfort. It's earned every single day, not by what you say, but by what you do when no one's watching. You want to build real confidence. Don't talk about your potential. Develop it. Don't repeat your goals. Move toward them. Don't keep telling people what you're planning. Show them through your transformation. You don't need to be loud when your life speaks for itself. When people see you change, your habits, your attitude, your discipline, they start listening differently. But that respect only comes when you prove you're serious. And seriousness doesn't come through words. It comes through action. Here's the truth. Most people don't want to face talking is easy. You can talk your way into feeling good for a few minutes, but it wears off. It doesn't give you lasting results. It doesn't solve your problems. It doesn't move your life forward. Talking is often a cover-up for fear. We speak when we're scared of failing silently. We speak when we want reassurance instead of results. But growth demands a different kind of courage. The kind that works quietly. The kind that doesn't chase attention. The kind that doesn't need approval. Ask yourself, are your habits aligned with your dreams? Or are you just talking in circles? Because if you're not seeing progress, it's not because you're not capable. It's because your energy is being divided between wanting change and needing validation. Every day you get to make a choice. Do you want to feel good in the moment, or do you want to feel proud long-term? You can't have both. One gives you short-term relief. The other gives you real transformation. Use your energy wisely. Save your words. Put that fuel into learning, into building, into showing up for yourself every day when it's hard. Put it into the habits that reshape your identity. Put it into the discipline that makes you stronger than your excuses. Talk is temporary. Growth is permanent. What you build in silence will last long after the conversations have faded. If you really want peace in your life, if you want clarity and strength, you've got to step away from the noise. You've got to take control of your environment. You've got to surround yourself with people who don't need constant explanations. People who respect silence. People who are also working, also growing, also staying focused. Because when your energy matches your environment, you rise faster. Every day is a chance to move one step closer to your potential. But that step won't come from talking about it. It'll come from doing the uncomfortable work. From waking up when you don't feel like it. From choosing discipline over distraction. From staying silent when you're tempted to speak just to feel important. True importance doesn't need to be declared. It reveals itself over time. You want to win in life? Then get serious about how you spend your energy. Stop wasting it on people who don't understand your vision. Stop wasting it on arguments that don't change anything. Stop wasting it on stories that keep you stuck in the past. Your future needs you present, disciplined and focused. If you keep letting your words drain your strength, you'll keep feeling tired before you've even begun. Some of the strongest people I've met are the quietest ones. Not because they're shy, not because they're unsure, but because they've found something deeper. A purpose that doesn't need to be validated. A mission that's too important to be distracted. A sense of self that doesn't depend on others. That's the kind of strength you want to build. The kind that comes from within. The kind that's rooted in action, not opinion. Silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's focus. It's maturity. It's knowing that real growth doesn't announce itself every step of the way. It just keeps going, keeps building, keeps rising. And one day you'll look around and realize that everything you wanted started flowing toward you. Not because you shouted for it, but because you became the kind of person who attracts it. And here's the beautiful part. When you start using your energy to grow daily, your life starts to reflect that effort. You begin to feel different. You carry yourself with quiet strength. You make decisions more clearly. You feel calm even when others are loud. You stop reacting to every small problem because you've got bigger things to focus on. And that's when people start noticing. Not because you told them, but because you became undeniable. So speak less, not because you don't have something to say, but because you've chosen to say it through your results. Use your words carefully. Use your energy wisely. Don't waste your day explaining what you're about to do. Just do it. Do it even when no one claps. Do it even when no one notices. Do it because your growth matters more than anyone's opinion. Each day you choose discipline over comfort, you grow stronger. Each time you resist the urge to explain and instead focus on your goals, you build mental power. Each moment you turn away from distractions and return to your purpose, you shape the life you were meant to live. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to post your progress online for it to count. You don't need to prove yourself through words. Prove it through change, through action, through consistency, through the quiet work that nobody sees but everybody feels when you walk into a room. There's no shortcut here. No hack that replaces effort. No words that replace work. Speak less. Grow more. Use every day to get better. Use your energy to build the life you keep saying you want. Because if you keep talking and never changing, you're lying to yourself. And that's the worst lie of all. You owe it to yourself to go all in. To be the version of you that stops delaying and starts acting. To be the version that doesn't settle for attention and instead demands respect. And respect is earned through discipline, not noise. Through quiet progress, not loud promises. If you want your life to change, change how you use your energy. Channel it into something meaningful. Don't scatter it in conversations that lead nowhere. Don't drain it in debates that don't matter. Pour it into your goals, into your habits, into your daily routines that build the future you want. You're not here to convince the world. You're here to conquer yourself. You're here to grow past your limits, to rise above the distractions, to break the patterns that kept you stuck. And that work begins when you stop explaining and start executing. Now is the time, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, take a hard look at your life. Where are you leaking energy? Who are you trying to impress? What are you still talking about instead of doing? And once you see it, cut it off. Turn down the volume. Turn up the discipline. Speak less. Grow more. Use your energy like it matters, because it does. You only get so much of it each day. Don't waste it. Build with it. Lead with it. Grow with it. Watch how everything begins to move when you stop trying to be heard and start choosing to become. Number 3. Train your mind to ignore drama and stay sharp. They want you distracted. That's how they control you, through noise, chaos, and constant drama that keeps your mind spinning in circles while your goals sit untouched in the background. You cannot afford to let the world pull your focus. Every time something loud happens, you are either sharpening your mind or letting it dull under the weight of things that don't matter. If you want to rise, you have to train your mind to ignore drama and stay sharp, no matter what comes at you. Look around. Everyone's addicted to conflict. Every headline is designed to provoke a reaction. Every scroll through your feed is a trap: anger, envy, gossip, outrage, clickbait. The game is rigged to steal your mental energy before you even know it's gone. If you're not deliberate with your focus, the world will devour it for you. And when that happens, you lose. You lose time. You lose clarity. You lose momentum. And the worst part is, you don't even realize it because you're too busy being entertained by someone else's problems. But here's the truth. They don't tell you your mind is your most powerful weapon, not your phone, not your words, not your appearance, your mind. And if you don't train it, if you don't discipline it, someone else will. Someone else will decide what you care about. Someone else will choose where your attention goes. And before you know it, you'll be living a life that isn't yours, reacting, scrolling, comparing, chasing, complaining, all while your real potential dies in silence. You were not born to waste your strength on drama. You were born to build, to create, to evolve into the version of yourself that lives with power and purpose. But to do that, you need to take control of your mental space. You need to become immune to distractions. You need to rise above the noise and see it for what it really is: an illusion, designed to keep you average. You don't owe your attention to everything that demands it. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's important. Just because someone throws negativity your way doesn't mean you have to pick it up. You've got to develop the strength to say, this is not my battle. Not every insult deserves a reaction. Not every controversy deserves your voice. Your energy is sacred, and if you keep handing it out to things that drain you, you'll have nothing left for the things that build you. This is not about being cold. It's about being clear. Clear about who you are. Clear about what matters. Clear about what deserves space in your life. The more clear you become, the easier it is to stay sharp. And when your mind is sharp, your decisions improve. Your discipline grows. Your ability to resist chaos multiplies. That's when you start to feel powerful. Not because the world is quieter, but because you've mastered the art of ignoring it. Think about how much mental bandwidth you've wasted reacting to things that were irrelevant a week later. Arguments that led nowhere. Opinions that had nothing to do with your journey. Situations that stole your peace, but gave you nothing in return. That's the cost of untrained focus. That's the tax you pay for giving your energy to drama. And it's a high cost. One that leaves you feeling emotionally drained and mentally foggy. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can take back control. You can decide right now that your focus is no longer for sale, that your peace is non-negotiable, that your mind is a fortress, not a playground for problems that aren't yours. And once you make that decision, everything begins to shift. You stop being reactive. You stop chasing closure. You stop needing to be right. You start choosing calm. You start choosing growth. You start choosing mastery over emotional outbursts. The world thrives on your distractions. Your success depends on your ability to rise above them. Every time you ignore a petty conflict, you sharpen your focus. Every time you choose discipline over chaos, you gain power. Every time you say no to drama, you say yes to your future. And those small decisions compound, day after day, until one day you wake up sharper, stronger, and more grounded than you've ever been, and the noise no longer touches you. You're not weak for walking away. You're not cold for protecting your peace. You're not boring for avoiding conflict. You are focused. You are aware. You are on a path that requires precision, not noise. And the people who can't understand that, let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them stir the pot. Just don't drink from it. You don't need to be involved in every emotional fire that gets lit around you. You just need to keep your inner fire burning hotter and stronger than anything outside of you. You want clarity? Then disconnect from confusion. You want to feel powerful? Then stop giving power to distractions. You want to grow? Then let go of everything that keeps you small, especially drama that pulls you into emotional loops. You are not your reactions. You are not your triggers. You are not your past habits. You are the observer, the master of your own energy. But only if you claim that role and commit to training your mind like it's the most important thing you'll ever do, because it is. Every day life will test you. People will try to pull you into their problems. They'll bait you with insults, opinions, gossip, and negativity. And you'll have to choose, do I take the bait and lose my edge, or do I rise above and protect my mind like a warrior? You already know the answer. You've felt the consequences of letting drama in. You've seen how fast it can drain you. Now it's time to build the discipline to resist it. Silence is a weapon. Calm is a power move. Stillness is strength. When you walk into a room and you're unshaken, people notice. When you don't flinch at chaos, you command respect. Not because you're louder, but because you're rooted. You've trained your mind to stay sharp, and people can feel that. They can sense that your energy is not easy to access. And that's when you start to feel untouchable. Not arrogant, just self-governed. This world will always have noise, but you don't have to carry it inside you. You can observe without absorbing. You can witness without reacting. You can care without becoming consumed. That's emotional intelligence. That's mental toughness. That's what separates the focused from the scattered, the winners from the lost, the free from the overwhelmed. You've got a mission. You've got goals that require everything you've got. You don't have time to get pulled into things that have nothing to do with your growth. The stronger you get, the more peace you need. And peace doesn't come from control. It comes from clarity, from knowing what matters and what doesn't, from mastering your attention and disciplining your thoughts. Drama is a trap. It disguises itself as important, urgent, personal, but it's not. It's just noise, trying to distract you from building something real, and you've got to get good at spotting it. Cut it off early. Don't entertain it. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify your silence. Just keep your energy clean and your mind sharp. You've been given one mind, one tool to shape your life. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. When your thoughts are clear, your path is clear. When your emotions are balanced, your actions become strategic. When your mind is disciplined, you become unstoppable. And here's what's beautiful. When you train your mind to ignore drama, everything in your life gets better. Your relationships improve because you're no longer reacting from a place of pain. Your work gets deeper because your focus is unshaken. Your health gets stronger because stress doesn't own you anymore. Your confidence grows because you're finally in control of what enters your head and heart. This isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about becoming powerful. The kind of power that doesn't need to raise its voice. The kind of power that moves in silence. That walks away from chaos without looking back. That chooses purpose over pride. That builds peace, moment by moment, decision by decision, breath by breath. And now it's your turn. Your time to decide. Will you keep feeding the drama and weakening your focus? Or will you rise above it and sharpen your mind until it cuts through every distraction life throws at you? Protect your peace like it's priceless, because it is. Guard your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Train your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. This is your life, your energy, your mind, and you are the only one who gets to decide how it's used. So make the decision right now. Step into your power. Walk away from the noise. Stay sharp. Stay grounded. Stay in control. Because the strongest version of you is not the one that reacts to everything. It's the one that remains unshaken by anything. Now go build that version. Starting today.
Number 4. Build discipline quietly and let success make noise. They won't see you coming, and that's exactly how it should be. While they chase attention, you build in silence. While they talk about what they're going to do, you're out there doing it without a word. While they perform for applause, you're focused on execution. That's the difference between noise and legacy, between hype and real power. You don't need to announce your moves. Discipline doesn't need a stage. It just needs your commitment, day after day in the shadows where no one is watching but you. Everybody wants to be seen, but not everybody wants to do the work that's required when no one's looking. They crave recognition, not mastery. They want praise without process. But that's not how greatness is built. Real strength grows in silence. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's a quiet grind that compounds while the world's distracted. It's waking up when no one tells you to. It's staying consistent when no one's clapping for you. It's pushing yourself even when no one's checking. That's where the real winners are formed. In the quiet moments that never make it to the highlight reel. You don't need validation. You need discipline. You don't need to prove anything to the outside world. You need to prove it to yourself over and over until you no longer have to talk about it. Because your results speak so loudly that no one can ignore you. When your discipline becomes your identity, success becomes inevitable. But it starts with silence. It starts with the decision to build, not for the spotlight, but for your soul. Let everyone else brag about the hustle. Let them post about every minor achievement. You stay focused. Let them waste time seeking attention. You keep stacking your wins quietly. Because the truth is, real discipline isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's hard. It's unappreciated. But that's exactly why most people never develop it. They want it to feel good. They want it to look cool. But discipline is built in solitude. It's grown in resistance. It's earned through discomfort. There's no applause when you choose the harder option. There's no trophy for skipping distractions. There's no crowd cheering you on when you say no to instant gratification.
But that's the beauty of it. Discipline is between you and you. No filters, no performance, just choices. And those choices shape your future in ways no words ever could. You see, the reason quiet discipline is so powerful is because it's rooted in integrity. You're not doing it for likes, you're not chasing praise, you're building a life that doesn't need an audience. And when your foundation is that strong, when your actions align with your standards, even in private, you become unstoppable, because you no longer need motivation. You've built a system, a rhythm, a code you live by that doesn't break when it's inconvenient. But here's what most people don't understand. Building discipline is not a one-time thing. It's a daily recommitment. A decision you make every morning when your bed feels too comfortable. A battle you fight every evening when comfort tries to seduce you. And the more you win those small battles, the stronger your identity becomes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop chasing shortcuts. You start showing up like it's non-negotiable, because it is. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for the perfect mood. It doesn't depend on motivation. It demands consistency. And the people who win in life are not the ones who feel like it every day. They're the ones who act despite how they feel. That's where the edge is. That's where separation happens. And that's why you've got to commit to building your habits quietly, relentlessly, until your life transforms right in front of you. Let them underestimate you. Let them doubt you. Let them sleep on you. That's your advantage. The less they expect, the more room you have to over-deliver. You don't need to convince anyone. Just keep showing up. Keep putting in the reps. Keep refining your craft. Because eventually, success will become too loud to ignore. Eventually, your work will speak volumes without you having to say a word. But don't make the mistake of chasing the outcome too soon. Don't get distracted by recognition. The seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. It grows beneath the surface, silently, invisibly, until one day it breaks through with undeniable strength. Your discipline works the same way. Every decision you make in silence is a deposit. Every sacrifice you make alone is a seed. And one day, they'll all bloom into a life so powerful, it will shock the ones who never saw it coming. Until then, protect your process. Don't let outside noise interrupt your rhythm. Don't let opinions shake your focus. Don't let the urge to be seen ruin your consistency. You've got something bigger to build. And if that means being misunderstood for a while, so be it. If it means walking alone, walk proud. Because when you're building something real, you'll outlast everyone chasing trends. You don't rise by announcing your intentions. You rise by keeping your head down and getting to work. You rise by becoming so good they can't ignore you, even if they want to. You rise by making excellence your standard, not just your goal. And that requires brutal honesty with yourself. Are you doing the work, or just talking about it? Are you committed to the process, or just excited by the idea of results? Don't fall for the illusion of progress. Activity is not achievement. Hype is not legacy. You have to go deeper. You have to build a foundation that isn't shaken by opinions or temporary setbacks. And that starts with discipline. Not the kind you show off, but the kind you live by. Quiet, steady, unshakable. Imagine what your life would look like 6 months from now if you stayed locked in. Imagine the changes you'd see if you stopped looking for external approval and focused entirely on internal execution. Imagine waking up with peace because you trust yourself, because you know you're doing the work, because you've built a life on integrity and consistency. That kind of power can't be taken away. It can't be faked. It's earned through years of quiet discipline. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people willing to do the hard things when no one's watching. More people committed to being great, not just looking great. More people who are okay with being invisible now, so they can be undeniable later. That's who you're becoming. The kind of person who doesn't need to announce their worth because it's evident in everything they do. Every time you show up when it's easier to quit, you sharpen your edge. Every time you follow through on your word, you build self-respect. Every time you do what's right, instead of what's easy. You separate yourself from the pack. And eventually, the gap becomes unbridgeable. Not because you're lucky, but because you were quiet enough to focus while they were loud enough to get distracted. So here's the truth. They can keep chasing attention. They can keep performing. You're building. You're preparing. You're stacking habits that will carry you for decades. And when it all clicks, you won't need to say a word. Your results will scream. Your presence will speak. Your success will make the noise you never had to. This is your time. Your silence is your strategy. Your consistency is your weapon. Your discipline is your advantage. Protect it. Nurture it. Commit to it. Because the life you want won't come from what you say. It will come from what you do, consistently when no one else is around. Now go. Do the work. Ignore the noise. Stay humble. Stay locked in. And remember, your discipline will build the future. Your silence will protect it. And your success will speak for you when the time is right. Let them talk. You just keep building.
Number 5. Take full control of your time and actions. Now, you're not running out of time. You're just giving it away. Every second you hesitate, scroll, wait, or procrastinate is a second you'll never get back. The life you want isn't on hold. You are. The opportunities you keep dreaming of, they're waiting for you to stop watching from the sidelines and start moving with purpose. The clock doesn't pause for indecision, and no one is going to save your future. It's yours, and it's slipping through your fingers every day you don't take full control. You have to understand, your time is your most valuable currency. You can't earn more of it. You can't get a refund for how you spent it. And once it's gone forever. But most people walk around like they've got an unlimited supply. They waste hours on distractions that lead nowhere. They make excuses for the things they could have done. They live on autopilot, waiting for some magical motivation to show up and fix everything. But time doesn't wait for motivation. Time belongs to the ones who take action now, without delay, without debate, without drama. You keep saying someday you'll get serious. Someday you'll change your habits. Someday you'll take that risk. But someday is not on the calendar. Someday is where dreams go to die. You don't need more time. You need more urgency. You need to realize that your future depends on what you do right now. Not next week, not when you feel ready now. That's the only time you ever have any power. And every time you choose to delay, you give that power away. You are not a victim of time. You are the architect of how you spend it. You decide what matters. You decide what gets your focus. You decide what distractions get cut and what goals get chased. And if you don't make those decisions, someone else will. Your boss, your phone, your fears, they'll all dictate how your day unfolds if you don't take the wheel. But you can't afford to live on default settings anymore. You've got goals to conquer, potential to fulfill, and a life that's begging for direction. But none of that happens until you step up and own your time like your life depends on it. Because it does. The truth is, most people don't realize how much control they actually have. They think they're stuck, trapped in routines, bad habits, and toxic cycles. But it's not your circumstances that are holding you back. It's your lack of urgency. It's your willingness to tolerate average. It's your daily decision to hand your focus to things that don't serve your future. That changes the moment you say no more. No more wasted minutes. No more excuses dressed as reasons. No more waiting for life to magically align. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You don't need every detail figured out. What you need is to move. Today, to take one action that aligns with where you want to be. And then another, and then another. That's how momentum is built. That's how clarity is created. You don't think your way into a better life. You act your way there. And every action you take with intention shifts your identity from passive to powerful. Imagine if you treated your time like it mattered. Imagine waking up and guarding your focus like a lion. Imagine saying no to every distraction that doesn't feed your purpose. Imagine what your life would look like if every hour was spent building, growing, learning, improving. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality available to you the moment you stop negotiating with time.
The moment you stop letting your future be a casualty of your present laziness. It's not just about being busy. Anyone can fill a calendar. It's about being deliberate, purposeful, relentless with how you use your hours. Because success isn't some big one-time moment. It's a result of thousands of small, disciplined choices stacked day after day. It's how you manage the minutes when no one's watching. It's how you spend the evenings after work. It's what you do when motivation runs out and discipline has to carry the weight. Nobody's coming to remind you that your time is finite. No alarm's gonna ring and say, "Hey, today's your chance to stop wasting life." That reminder has to come from you, from your inner standard, from your refusal to live a watered-down version of your potential, from your decision to make every day count like your life depends on it. Because it truly does. You have to ask yourself, how much longer are you going to delay what matters? How much longer will you postpone becoming the version of you that you admire in others? How many more weeks will you let pass by, knowing deep down you didn't give them your best? That's not a life. That's slow surrender. You were not born to drift. You were born to direct, to lead, to take command of the hours you're given and turn them into a masterpiece of progress and purpose. The most powerful people you know aren't the busiest. They're the most focused. They cut out the noise. They prioritize what matters. They say no a lot more than they say yes, because they understand that every yes is a no to something else. And if you keep saying yes to distractions, you're saying no to your goals, no to your growth, no to the version of yourself that's trying to break through. That's the price of wasting time. It's not just lost hours, it's lost transformation. But you can change everything. Starting now. You can rewrite your entire future just by taking control of today. You don't have to wait for January or Monday or a better mood. You don't need permission. You just need to decide that your time is not up for negotiation anymore, that your focus belongs to you, that your actions are yours to command. And once you make that decision, the game changes. You'll notice your standards rise. You'll start showing up with more intention. You'll cut the fluff and double down on what actually matters. And over time, those choices create a life that reflects your discipline, not your distractions. A life that's driven by progress, not passivity. A life that makes you proud, not regretful. You want freedom? It starts with control, not over the world, over yourself, over your choices, over your habits. And that control is built one decision at a time, one disciplined hour at a time. You don't get there overnight, but you get there only if you start now. You get there by acting like every second has weight, like every decision is a step closer or further from your dream, like time is a sacred asset, because it is. So stop surrendering it to things that don't matter. Stop letting the algorithm decide your direction. Stop putting your life on hold while waiting for a better version of you to show up. You are the better version. If you choose to act like it, if you choose to own your schedule, own your focus, and own your destiny. This isn't about hustling yourself into burnout. It's about aligning your time with your values, about making sure your actions reflect your priorities, not your distractions, about building a life you don't have to escape from, because it's built with awareness, purpose, and powerful decisions. There are people out there with half your talent but twice your discipline, and they're winning. Why? Because they don't negotiate with time. They respect it. They use it. They don't waste it on fear or fantasy. They take action. And so can you. You don't need more potential. You just need more execution. And execution lives in your calendar, in your routines, in your ability to say no more delay. Let's go. So here's the truth you need to swallow. The life you want will never come from the time you intend to use. It will come from the time you take back and use with intention. And if you start now, if you take control today, there's still time to build something powerful, but only if you move, only if you stop reacting and start creating. You know what needs to be done. You've known for a while, so don't wait for another sign. This is it. This is your moment. Take control of your time. Take control of your choices. Take control of your life, because nothing is more dangerous than wasted time, and nothing is more powerful than a person who finally decides to stop wasting it. Now go. Do something with this moment. Take the next hour and make it matter. Don't scroll. Don't wish. Act, own it. And if you stay consistent,
If you stack enough intentional hours, you won't even recognize your life a year from now. And that's exactly how it should be. Let the world watch in shock while you build in silence and rise with precision. Your time is now. Use it like you mean it.
Number 6. Protect your peace by walking away from nonsense. You don't have to fight every battle, especially the ones that only exist to drain your spirit and distract you from your purpose. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every insult deserves your reaction. Not every person deserves access to your peace. The truth is, the strongest version of you doesn't argue, it walks away. It doesn't beg for validation. It lives with self-respect. And if you want real growth, if you want clarity, if you want to protect what's sacred inside you, then you need to learn this truth. Silence is a weapon, and walking away is power. There comes a point in your life when you stop entertaining nonsense, not because you think you're better than anyone, but because you finally know what you're worth. You've outgrown petty arguments. You've outgrown the need to prove yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You've outgrown chaos disguised as connection. You've outgrown fake loyalty, manipulative conversations, and anything that pulls you back into an energy that no longer matches your future. You don't need to win arguments. You need to win your peace back. Every time you argue with someone who thrives off conflict, you pay with your inner calm. Every time you lower your vibration just to be right, you lose your grip on the life you're trying to build. And deep down you feel it. That moment when a conversation drains you, when someone's presence disrupts your focus, when your instincts scream, "This is not worth it." That voice is your signal. And the wisest thing you can do in that moment is walk away. Not in weakness, but in power. You don't need to respond to every disrespect. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You don't need to keep people around just because you've known them a long time. Loyalty to dysfunction is not strength. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is outgrow people silently. No announcement, no debate, just a clean exit, a firm decision, and a life that continues without the chaos. Your peace is your responsibility. It's not something the world will protect for you. In fact, the world will constantly test it with negativity, with noise, with people who are addicted to drama and want to pull you into their storms. But you're not here to participate in every storm. You're here to build peace that can't be shaken. And peace doesn't come from external silence. It comes from internal discipline. It comes from mastering the art of disengagement, of knowing when to step back, of choosing clarity over confusion. Think about all the hours you've lost defending yourself to people who never cared to understand you in the first place. Think about all the stress you carried from interactions that weren't even rooted in truth, just projections and triggers. Think about how many moments of joy were stolen because you gave your attention to things that weren't meant for your spirit. That's the real cost of engaging with nonsense. And if you don't protect your energy, the world will drain it for you. This isn't about being cold. This is about being clear. It's about choosing peace over performance. It's about refusing to participate in situations that rob you of your strength. You weren't born to be constantly explaining yourself, defending your path, or proving your intentions. Your energy is too valuable. Your focus is too sacred. And your time is too short. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's survival. And if you don't make it a priority, you'll find yourself living a life that feels chaotic, reactive, and exhausting. People will try to provoke you just to feel powerful. Don't let them. Some will test your patience just to feel in control. Don't play their game. When you grow, you realize that not everything deserves a reaction. You realize that silence speaks louder than any comeback. You realize that walking away doesn't mean you lost. It means you finally understood what's worth your energy and what isn't. Protecting your peace means cutting ties with the versions of yourself that tolerated things you should have walked away from long ago. It means healing the part of you that needed chaos to feel alive. It means no longer accepting disrespect disguised as jokes, love wrapped in manipulation, or support that disappears when you succeed. Real peace is born the moment you say, "I don't need this in my life anymore," and you mean it. Let them think you're distant. Let them say you've changed. Let them create their own stories. Your peace is not up for discussion. You don't owe the world your emotional availability. You owe yourself your sanity. And sometimes that means not texting back. Sometimes it means not attending the event. Sometimes it means unfollowing quietly, walking away gently, and letting people be wrong about you. Because protecting your peace isn't loud. It's subtle. It's graceful. It's a quiet refusal to be pulled back into cycles that no longer align with your growth. You can't keep growing if you keep getting dragged back. Every time you argue with someone who doesn't want to understand, you anchor yourself in a past you're trying to outgrow. Every time you try to fix people who benefit from staying broken, you lose yourself in a battle that has no end. Some people don't want resolution, they want control. And once you see that, you stop fighting. You stop explaining. You stop reacting. And you start walking. It takes strength to disengage. It takes wisdom to know when something is beneath your energy. It takes maturity to realize that not everything is meant to be confronted. Some things are meant to be left behind. You weren't put on this earth to constantly defend your peace. You were born to live in alignment with it. And that means honoring your energy as sacred, guarding your space like your future depends on it, because it does. If you're constantly exhausted, anxious, or emotionally drained, it's not because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too much for people and situations that aren't aligned with your purpose. Your peace is not found in fixing others. Your peace is found in fixing your boundaries, in choosing what you allow, in protecting your space like your life depends on it, because it does. You have to get ruthless about your peace. If something costs you your clarity, it's too expensive. If someone makes you doubt your worth, they don't deserve your presence. If a situation leaves you confused more than it brings you joy, it's not for you. Peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And once you experience it, once you taste what life feels like without the noise, you'll never tolerate nonsense again. You become untouchable when you stop responding to everything. You become powerful when you protect your energy like gold. You become peaceful when you finally realize you're not obligated to be accessible to every person, every message, every demand. Your life is yours, and the way you protect it is by deciding what no longer has a place in it. So here's your moment to cut the ties, to close the door, to exit the room that never valued your presence. Here's your moment to choose yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a sacred way, to prioritize your mental health, to guard your emotional well-being, to create space for the life you truly want, because that life doesn't live in chaos. It lives in calm. It lives in focus. It lives in peace. The best revenge is not reacting. The best power move is walking away. The best version of you is the one that doesn't flinch when chaos calls. It just doesn't answer. And once you become that version, everything changes. Your relationships shift. Your standards rise. Your energy sharpens. And suddenly the nonsense that used to consume you doesn't even register anymore. You've elevated. You've grown. You've arrived at peace. Now protect it. Relentlessly, unapologetically, with the full understanding that nothing outside you is worth more than what's within you. Because once you walk away from the noise, you walk toward clarity. Once you release what's draining you, you create space for what fuels you. And once you protect your peace, you start building a life where nothing can shake you. This is your invitation. Not just to hear these words, but to live them. Walk away from the nonsense. Leave behind what's toxic. Say no to what disrupts your energy, because your peace is your power. And now it's time to protect it, like your life depends on it, because it does. Number 7. Show up for yourself before showing up for others. If you keep showing up for everyone else but never show up for yourself, one day you'll wake up completely empty. And no one will notice because they've been feeding off your strength while you quietly starved. This is your wake-up call. You've been giving, you've been pouring, you've been carrying the weight for everyone around you. You're always there, answering messages, solving problems, helping others breathe through their storms. But somewhere along the way, you stopped checking in with yourself. You stopped asking, what do I need today? You stopped hearing your own voice because it was buried beneath everyone else's expectations. That silence inside you, that feeling of disconnection, that's the cost of abandoning yourself in the name of loyalty. It's not noble to neglect yourself. It's not strength to always be available. It's not love when you keep sacrificing your peace to make others comfortable. If you don't start showing up for yourself, Your life will become a support system for other people's stories. While your own story fades in the background, you'll become the reliable one, the strong one, the one everyone depends on, until the moment you break. And even then, some won't notice. Others will be shocked, because you've trained them to believe you're invincible, when inside, you've been exhausted for years. You can't keep pouring from a soul that's never replenished. You can't keep pushing when your own foundation is cracking. You can't keep showing up for the world while abandoning yourself at every turn. It doesn't matter how kind you are. If you don't give yourself the love, attention, and care you so freely give away, you'll eventually run dry, and no one will refill you. They'll just ask for more. You deserve to be your own first priority, not in a selfish way, in a survival way. You deserve mornings that start with your own thoughts, not notifications. You deserve evenings where you reflect on your growth, not just what you did for others. You deserve boundaries that protect your peace. You deserve a life that makes space for you. The problem is, you've been conditioned to think that selflessness is the highest form of love. But what if it's not? What if real love starts with responsibility? The responsibility to take care of your energy, the responsibility to check in with your emotions, the responsibility to guard your well-being like it's sacred, because it is. And if you don't protect it, the world will consume it, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but the image of who you used to be. You have dreams too. You have pain too. You have needs too. Stop pretending you don't. Stop pushing your own healing to the side because someone else needs you again. The truth is, you've been taught to serve others before serving yourself. But when you reverse that, when you finally start putting yourself first, you'll see just how much better you can show up for the world. Not from exhaustion, from overflow, not from guilt, from grounded confidence. You don't need permission to choose yourself. You don't need validation to set limits. You don't owe anyone access to your time just because they've had it in the past. You get to evolve. You get to change. You get to protect your schedule, your energy, your peace. And if people fall away when you do that, let them. The ones meant for your next chapter will never ask you to sacrifice your sanity for their comfort. Your future depends on the habits you practice now. If you keep putting yourself last, your future will be built on burnout, resentment, and regret. But if you start showing up for yourself, even in small ways, with rest, with stillness, with honesty, your future will be built on strength, purpose, and self-respect. That version of you, the one who's calm, focused, and rooted in self-worth, that's who you become when you stop abandoning yourself. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of your own time. You don't need to have it all together to give yourself love. You don't need to be successful before you deserve self-care. You deserve it now. Right here, right as you are. Not because of what you've done, because of who you are. A human being with a heart that needs rest. A mind that needs clarity. A soul that needs peace. You've spent enough time proving yourself to others. Now prove something to yourself. That you matter. That your health matters. That your voice matters. That your boundaries matter. Because if you don't believe that, no one else will. People treat you the way you treat yourself. And when you start showing up for yourself consistently, you'll attract a different kind of energy. One that doesn't just take, one that respects your presence because you finally started respecting it too. There will be people who call you selfish for changing. Let them. There will be those who try to guilt you into staying the same. Ignore them. You're not here to keep people comfortable. You're here to live a life that's honest, a life that reflects your growth, your vision, your truth. And sometimes that means creating distance. Sometimes that means saying no more often. Sometimes that means showing up for yourself before anyone else even gets a piece of you. Ask yourself, what would change if I started treating myself like someone I love? What would shift if I began honoring my own needs? What would life look like if I finally showed up for me? Not just when I'm falling apart, but every day, like a ritual, like a vow, because that's what it needs to become. A daily commitment, to check in, to listen, to heal, to fuel yourself, to speak kindly to your own mind. You do it for others. Now it's your turn. You're the one who keeps showing up when no one else does. You're the one who pushes through on empty. You're the one who holds everything together, even when you're falling apart. So isn't it time you became your own priority? This isn't a motivational quote. This is your life. This is your chance to build something real, something grounded, something lasting. And it starts with you, not them, not their needs, not their timelines. Yours. It starts with asking, what do I need today to feel whole? And then giving that to yourself, without guilt, without delay. There is no glory in self-neglect. There is no award for burnout. There is no badge of honor for being everything to everyone, except yourself. You're not here to be used. You're here to live fully, to wake up with purpose, to go to bed with peace. And that only happens when you show up for yourself with the same urgency you show up for others. Your healing is not optional. Your rest is not a luxury. Your time is not up for grabs. You get to decide what kind of life you want to lead. And you can't do that if you're constantly depleted. So stop waiting. Stop hoping someone else will pour into you. Start giving yourself what you've always needed. Start treating your body like a temple. Start listening to your intuition, like it holds the answers, because it does. And start walking like your life depends on your direction, because it does. Every single day is a chance to come home to yourself, to sit in your own presence, to breathe your own air, to speak your own truth. And when you do that enough, you begin to remember who you really are. Not the version shaped by responsibilities, not the version created by guilt, the real you, the one with dreams, the one with purpose, the one who's ready to rise. So don't wait for a breakdown. Don't wait for the world to finally see your value. Don't wait for approval. This is your moment. To reset, to reclaim, to remember. Show up for yourself with love, with courage, with discipline, with boundaries, with fire in your eyes and peace in your soul. Because the more you show up for yourself, the more unstoppable you become. And from that place, that power, you can finally show up for the world in a way that doesn't destroy you. Now go look in the mirror, look into your own eyes, and promise yourself this: I will no longer abandon me. Let that be your commitment, your vow, your beginning. Because your future doesn't start when someone sees your worth. It starts the moment you do. Show up for yourself, every single day. No matter what, you deserve it. You always have. And now it's time to act like it. Number 8. Use your silence to study, improve, and level up. When nobody claps for you, when no one checks in, when the world falls silent, that is your moment to rise in silence, grind in secret, and become someone they'll never see coming. This is the truth most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. Your breakthrough won't happen in the noise. It won't come from validation. It won't be handed to you in public. It happens in the quiet, when no one is watching, when you're alone with your thoughts, your flaws, your doubts, and your hunger. The silence is not your enemy. It's your most powerful weapon. While everyone else is busy chasing attention, you're building skill. While they post for likes, you're studying patterns. While they speak to be heard, you listen to understand. And in that quiet focus, you grow beyond recognition. You don't need applause to improve. You don't need the world's permission to evolve. You need discipline. You need obsession. You need the guts to disappear and rebuild yourself from the ground up. That's what winners do. They don't chase spotlight. They chase progress. And they use every silent hour to outlearn, outwork, and outlast the noise around them. Look at your life right now. Who are you when the attention fades? Who are you when the motivation is gone? That's where the truth lives. That's where your character is exposed. In the early mornings, in the late nights, in the library, when everyone else is partying, in the gym while others sleep, in the notes you take when no one sees the grind. That silence is sacred, and the way you use it determines your future. Most people avoid silence because it forces them to face themselves. But that's exactly why you must lean into it. In silence, you see your weaknesses clearly. You hear the excuses in your mind. You face the discomfort of knowing you haven't done enough. And from that truth you gain power. Because once you confront it, you can change it. You can improve it. You can fix what's been holding you back for years. Do you understand how rare it is to stay committed in silence? Most give up when no one's watching. Most quit when the audience is gone. But the few who stay consistent, who show up with focus, who learn without praise, who level up without announcing it, they become unstoppable. They earn results that can't be denied. Not because they shouted, but because they prepared when others were distracted. This is your time to be dangerous in silence. Not the kind of danger that makes noise, the kind that strikes with precision, the kind that studies when others scroll, the kind that gets stronger when underestimated. That's who you become when you stop explaining yourself to people who aren't even listening. When you stop trying to prove your worth to those who haven't earned your energy. When you decide that your growth is not up for debate, not up for display, not up for public performance. It's a private contract between you and your potential. You want to change your life? Then master the silence. Stop leaking your plans. Stop asking for approval. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Study like you're already behind. Improve like your future depends on it. Level up like your life is on the line. Because in many ways it is. You don't get this time back. You don't get to redo today. And the truth is, if you don't take the silent seasons seriously, you'll never be ready for the storms that follow. It's in silence that you gather your tools. It's in silence that you test your limits. It's in silence that you prove to yourself that you're worthy of the results you want. You don't need to post it. You don't need to announce it. Just do the work. Quietly, consistently, ferociously. And when the results show, no one will question how you got there. They'll feel the force of your preparation. They'll respect the fire you built in the dark. Because let's be honest, it's easy to pretend in public. But silence doesn't lie. It exposes laziness. It reveals truth. If you're not doing the work, you can't hide it forever. But if you are, the silence becomes your playground. It becomes your lab, your arena, your battleground, where you sharpen your mind, build your habits, fix your flaws, and construct the version of yourself you've always dreamed of. You have to want it more than comfort, more than attention, more than distractions. You have to want the evolution so badly that you're willing to disappear. You're willing to skip parties. You're willing to miss trends. You're willing to ignore everything that doesn't align with your growth. That's the mindset that separates average from elite. The ones who can sit alone with discipline are the ones who dominate when the noise comes back. Think of the people you admire, the ones who move in silence and execute with impact. They didn't get there by talking. They got there by mastering solitude, by becoming addicted to their own progress, by studying the craft while others were playing. You have that same power. You just haven't used it fully. But that changes now. Start treating your silence like a sacred opportunity. Wake up before the world. Read before they post. Train before they speak. Learn while they sleep. Outpace them without saying a word. That's how you win. That's how you separate yourself. Because when you emerge from that silence, you're not the same. You're sharper. You're wiser. You're unshakable. Don't tell people what you're doing. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let them doubt. Then show up months later unrecognizable. Not because you told them, but because you became it. That's the power of silent growth. No noise. No ego. Just undeniable progress. And don't get confused. Silence isn't about hiding. It's about building in peace. It's about blocking out the opinions. It's about focusing so deeply that the rest of the world becomes background noise. It's about valuing your time, your mind, your future enough to protect it from chaos. That's how you create something that lasts. That's how you build foundations. No one can shake. You'll be misunderstood. People will think you're antisocial, arrogant, distant. Let them. They don't see what you're constructing. They don't feel the weight of your hunger. They don't know how deeply you've decided to transform. But you know. And that's enough. Because in the end, the silence will speak for you. The results will speak for you. The peace you radiate. The clarity in your decisions. The confidence in your actions. It will all be proof of the hours no one saw. The hours you showed up. The hours you studied. The hours you said no to comfort. That's what creates real growth. Not the hype. Not the spotlight. The silence. So start now. Lock in. Turn off the noise. Close the tabs that distract you. Put the phone down. Breathe in the stillness. And ask yourself, what do I need to master right now? What skill? What mindset? What habit? Then go all in on that. Make your silence productive. Let it sharpen you. Let it rebuild you. Let it turn you into someone the world has to respect. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. This is your time to be the storm they never saw coming. Study harder. Train deeper. Work smarter. Grow relentlessly. Use your silence like a weapon. And when the world gets loud again, let your progress drown it out. Let them hear the echo of everything you did in the dark. And let it shake them, because you didn't just survive the silence. You use it. You owned it. And now no one can take that from you. So go, disappear into discipline, and rise into your greatness. Number 9, drop distractions and give your goals full attention. Your future is being stolen from you. Not by enemies, not by failures, but by tiny, invisible distractions that rob your focus every single day. Most people will never live the life they dream about. Not because they lack talent, not because they don't have potential, but because they never learn how to give their goals the undivided attention they deserve. They're pulled in 100 directions, drained by meaningless scrolling, hijacked by notifications, buried under digital noise, and fooled by the illusion of busyness. And somewhere along the way, they forget what they're even chasing. But deep down, you know what you want. You've seen the vision. You've felt the hunger. The problem isn't desire. It's distraction. You can't build an extraordinary life with a scattered mind. Your goals need more than wishful thinking. They need obsession. They need ruthless focus. They need all of you. Not half your energy, not part of your day. They need your full attention. Every second you give to distraction is a second stolen from your greatness. And the cost isn't just time. It's self-respect. Because every time you betray your mission for something trivial, a part of you knows. A part of you whispers, we're better than this. You weren't born to drift through life, reacting to whatever flashes across your screen. You weren't meant to play small, constantly distracted by things that don't move the needle. You were built for depth, for mastery, for a life of purpose. But you can't step into that version of yourself until you start saying no to what doesn't serve your vision. You have to reclaim your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Think about it. What if the only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is the ability to shut the world out and lock in? What if your biggest leap forward isn't a new strategy or some secret trick? It's simply the ability to give your goal undivided attention for weeks, months, years. That's the level you need to rise to. Not multitasking, not half committed, but locked in day after day on one thing that truly matters. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Because distraction is a drug. It numbs the pain of progress. It keeps you entertained so you don't have to face the truth. But progress only happens when you stop running from the work, when you stop escaping your own greatness, when you sit in the discomfort and choose discipline over dopamine. You know exactly what's wasting your time. The endless feed refreshes, the meaningless messages, the background noise you pretend to ignore. You know, you've felt the guilt after hours lost to nothing. That internal frustration, when the day ends and your goals are still untouched. That quiet voice that says, we could have done more. That's the truth trying to wake you up. And it's time to listen. This is the part no one wants to admit. Your dreams will not survive your distractions. You can't become exceptional if you're constantly accessible. You can't dominate your goals if you're being dominated by every ping and pop-up. You need to create space for deep work. You need blocks of time where it's just you, the vision, and relentless execution. No noise, no escape routes, just focus. Because here's the thing, the world rewards focus. It doesn't matter how many hours you work if your mind is scattered. It doesn't matter how badly you want it if you keep interrupting your own momentum. Success goes to the person who can sit in stillness and do the deep work while everyone else is distracted. That's the competitive edge now. Your ability to focus while the rest of the world loses theirs. Imagine what you could build if you focused with intensity for 90 days. Imagine the skills you'd develop, the goals you'd crush, the version of you that would emerge. Now imagine wasting another year to the same old distractions. Another year explaining why you didn't make progress. Another year hoping, wishing, but never locking in. That's the decision you're making every day. Whether you realize it or not, the truth is, your attention is your power. And every app, every platform, every distraction is designed to steal it. Because they know something most people don't. If they can control your attention, they control your life. But if you control your attention, you control your future. That's what this is about. Not just productivity, not just time management. It's about taking back control of your life. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to work 20 hours a day, but you do need to show up with intention. You do need to protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Your future is built in the minutes you give to your goals, and if you keep giving those minutes away to distractions, your dreams will remain just that. Dreams. So here's what you need to do. First, get brutally honest. What's pulling you away from what matters? Write it down. Every distraction, every excuse. Then eliminate them one by one. Turn off notifications. Log out of the apps. Block the websites. Create a space where your goals can breathe, where your focus can thrive, where you can go deep without interruption. Then commit, not casually, not when you feel like it, but like your future is on the line, because it is. Show up every day with a clear mind and a sharp focus. Do the work you've been avoiding. Keep your eyes locked on the mission, and when distraction creeps in, because it will, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what's at stake. Remind yourself who you're becoming. You're not just working on a goal, you're working on you. Every focused hour sharpens your discipline. Every deep work session builds your confidence. Every distraction you defeat adds another layer to your strength. That's how you transform. Not by chasing everything, but by committing fully to one thing. And when you do that, when you go all in, something shifts. You stop chasing clarity and start creating it. You stop feeling lost and start leading yourself. You stop settling and start rising. Because the more focused you become, the more powerful you feel. And the more powerful you feel, the more unstoppable your progress becomes. People will wonder how you did it, how you made so much progress in such a short time. They'll think it was luck or talent, but you'll know the truth. You'll know it was focus. It was choosing your goal over comfort. It was silencing the noise and locking in when no one else would. That's your edge. That's your secret. That's your superpower. So don't waste another second. The distractions won't disappear on their own. You have to cut them off. You have to decide that your goals matter more than your impulses. You have to train your brain to crave progress more than stimulation. And it starts now. This is your wake-up call. Your reminder that you were born for more than scrolling and surviving. You were built to create, to build, to master, to grow. But that only happens when you give your goals the respect they deserve. So shut it all down. Clear the noise, turn the focus all the way up, and start building a life that's so sharp, so disciplined, so powerful, that no distraction can pull you away again. You've wasted enough time. Now it's time to take it all back. Focus like your legacy depends on it, because it does. And when the results show up, when the progress becomes visible, when your vision becomes real, no one will be able to question how you got there. You earned it. You focused for it. You sacrificed for it. And that's what sets you apart. That's what makes you unstoppable. So go, lock in, and don't stop until your reality matches your ambition. Number 10. Strengthen your habits without explaining your journey. They don't need to see it. They don't need to understand it. They don't even need to believe in it. Because the work you're doing isn't for them. It's for the future version of you who's counting on you to stop talking and start transforming. We live in a world obsessed with validation. A world where people announce every move before they make it. A world where plans are broadcast but execution is invisible. And that's why most never change. Because they spend more time explaining what they're going to do than actually doing it. But not you. You're here because you're done with the noise. You're done with empty words. You're done seeking approval for a journey no one else was meant to walk. If you're building something real,
You don't have to explain it. The work will speak. The results will echo. The habits you cultivate in silence will shape a life so strong that even those who doubted you will have no choice but to respect it. That's the power of quiet growth. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need permission. It just needs consistency. People won't understand why you say no to things they indulge in. They'll question why you disappear, why you stop showing up for meaningless conversations, why you remove yourself from distractions that offer short-term comfort. But what they don't see is what you're building brick by brick when no one's watching. They don't see the early mornings, the disciplined routines, the internal battles you fight just to stay on course. And that's okay. They're not supposed to. Your habits are not a performance. They're a commitment. They're a silent declaration that your future matters more than your comfort. And real transformation isn't loud. It's patient. It doesn't beg for recognition. It grows in the shadows. It strengthens behind the scenes. And when it finally surfaces, it's undeniable. Most people will never experience true change because they seek validation at every step. They need others to see their struggle, to witness their effort, to affirm their direction. But here's the truth. The more you seek to be understood, the more you dilute your focus, the more you explain yourself, the more you invite doubt, and the deeper your need to be seen, the further you drift from your purpose. The strongest people you'll ever meet aren't the loudest. They're the ones who keep showing up when no one's clapping. They're the ones who keep training when no one's watching. They're the ones who stay consistent without making a scene, because they understand something powerful. When you stop trying to convince people of your path, you gain the energy to walk it fully. The world doesn't need your explanation. It needs your example. Let them wonder why you've changed. Let them speculate about your silence. Let them question your detachment. That confusion is proof that you're evolving. You're not shrinking to fit their expectations anymore. You're expanding beyond them, and that growth demands solitude. It demands discipline. It demands boundaries. Every time you explain yourself, you waste energy that could have been used to move forward. Every justification is a distraction. Every defense of your choices is a step away from your power. You don't owe the world a breakdown of your process. You owe yourself results. You owe yourself the satisfaction of knowing you stayed true to your path, even when no one clapped, even when no one believed. Think about this. What if you stopped trying to be understood and just became undeniable? What if your actions were so consistent, so disciplined, so sharp, that no one could question your commitment? What if your results became your voice, and your growth became your legacy? That doesn't happen by explaining. That happens by doing over and over. Even when you feel unseen, even when progress feels slow, even when you're tempted to post, share, and seek credit, you stay grounded in the truth that real change is internal, that real habits are forged in silence, far away from the need for recognition. There's a freedom that comes when you stop performing for others, a peace that shows up when your only competition is the version of you from yesterday. That's where strength is built. That's where clarity is found. That's where the real transformation begins, in the quiet, messy, unglamorous work that no one will ever applaud. You don't need to tell anyone you're waking up earlier. You don't need to announce that you're training harder. You don't need to broadcast that you're cutting out toxicity, eating cleaner, or staying disciplined. Just do it. Do it so well that one day they'll have no choice but to ask how you did it. And you can smile, not because you need to explain, but because you know how much was built in silence. The journey is yours, not theirs. So protect it. Guard it like it's sacred, because it is. Every habit you strengthen in silence is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every action you take without recognition is a deposit into your future success. And every step you take without announcing it is a reminder that this is about becoming, not performing. Don't let their confusion become your burden. Don't let their lack of understanding slow you down. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're building. And builders don't talk. They work. They show up. They craft. They grind. And when the structure stands tall, when the transformation is complete, it speaks louder than words ever could.
This is your moment to turn inward, to double down on your habits, to show up when it's inconvenient, to keep going when it's unrewarded, and to fall in love with the process. Not because anyone's watching, but because you know it's shaping you into someone unstoppable. You don't owe anyone a glimpse into your process. You don't need to convince anyone you're serious. Your consistency is the proof. Your growth is the evidence. Your evolution is the loudest answer. And every time you stay disciplined when no one's watching, you're casting a vote for the life you truly want. So don't stop. Don't get soft because people don't understand. Don't shrink because they don't see your vision. You're not here to be understood. You're here to become unshakable. And that kind of strength is built when no one is around to applaud it. Every time you want to explain, choose action instead. Every time you want validation, go harder instead. Every time you feel unseen, double your discipline instead. Because nothing screams power louder than quiet results. Nothing proves seriousness more than consistent habits done in silence. And nothing destroys doubt faster than undeniable progress. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them write you off. And while they do, keep sharpening, keep building, keep moving. Because soon the very people who doubted your silence will be left in awe of your results. And when that day comes, you won't need to say a word. You'll have become something far greater than their expectations. You'll have built something so solid, so disciplined, so powerful, that no explanation will ever be necessary. Now go prove it. Not with words, not with speeches, but with the quiet, steady work that only the truly committed ever understand. Strengthen your habits, protect your journey, and let the world watch your transformation in silence. Because when your work speaks, no one will ever need to ask if it was real. They'll feel it, they'll see it, and they'll know you didn't just change, you became.